Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg for pre-need funerals, burials, and cremation since 1975. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Funeral service for Rusty Brown, age 46, of Goodwater. That service will be today at 11 a.m. at Curtis and Son North, with burial in the Highland Cemetery. Curtis and Son Funeral Home will direct that service. Funeral arrangements to be announced for Nancy Talley, who died on Saturday. Curtis and Son Funeral Home will announce those arrangements. Mr. Michael McCluskey died at Sylacauga Health and Rehab on Wednesday. Funeral arrangements to be announced by Curtis and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel in Sylacauga. In other obituary news this morning, memorial service for Michael Kane of Childersburg will be 4 p.m. on Thursday at First Methodist Church in Childersburg. That's at 4 p.m. On October the 26th. Actually, that's tomorrow, excuse me. October 26th at First Methodist Church in Childersburg. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel, directing that service. And also, Carolyn Deerhart, graveside service will be today at 3 o'clock from Fayetteville Cemetery, Fayetteville Methodist Cemetery. Curtis and Son Funeral Home handling the local arrangements. And longtime educator and longtime friend, Mr. Dwight L. Rayfield, age 74, died Saturday. Visitation for Mr. Rayfield will be Tuesday 1 until 3 at Radley Smith Funeral Home in Sylacauga, followed by funeral service at 3. Mr. Rayfield will be interred at Evergreen Cemetery in Sylacauga, and he was a principal at B.B. Comer School, and he was a grand gentleman, and he'll certainly be missed. Dwight Rayfield, age 74, of Sylacauga, passed away on Saturday. Radley Smith Funeral Home, Sylacauga, in charge of the arrangements. Reverend A.C. Harris, age 85, died October 23rd at his residence, Community Funeral Home in Sylacauga, in charge of the arrangements. Mr. Larry Averett Sr., age 71, died October 24th at his residence, Community Funeral Home, Sylacauga, announcing the arrangements. Reuben Farrell Sizemore, age 80, died on October 21st. Celebration of Life service, memorial service, 1 o'clock at Freedom Resurrection Outreach on Highway 78 in Pell City. That is on October the 31st. And Mary Margaret Blair, age 79, of Pell City, died on Wednesday. Funeral service today at 2 o'clock in First Baptist Church of Pell City with the Reverend John Threet and the Reverend A.L. Courtney officiating. Family receiving friends, 1 o'clock until service time. Burial in the Jefferson Memorial Garden Cemetery in Trustville. Kilgore Funeral Home in Pell City, in charge of the arrangements. And finally this morning, memorial service for Terry Calhoun, Terry Calhoun of Sylacauga, is today at 1 o'clock from Community Funeral Home in Sylacauga. Community Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements. This obituary report this morning, courtesy of Curtis and Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg for pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.